Hey, so this is my third and last blog post. So I'm going to be talking about the sixth week in the field that I went. So Tracy, Amanda, and I all got to teach our second lesson to our students, in which we went over. So Tracy and I continued doing our peer-assisted or peer reading with our two students, Ethan and Aiden. They read together for another about 8 pages of the book, and then had to, at the end of each page, come back and show us their 5-finger rule that they'd learned, their 5-finger strategy, where they'll list 5 facts at the end of each page, or up to 5 facts, because if there's more, then they should technically be saying more, but if there's less, it's okay for there to be less, because not every page has 5 full facts on them. Our students did a little bit worse than they did last week on it, simply because they were a bit distracted. They were both acting quite silly. They weren't paying attention very well, especially my student. He had just gotten a magic pencil, the type that you have to shine the light on it to see the writing, and he couldn't stop playing with that. I had to tell him to put it away because it just wasn't appropriate, and he just kept taking it out and trying to play with it, and he tried to write his answers for our assessment in the magic pencil, and there were a lot of issues regarding that toy that he had brought to school. Ethan did a really good job with Tracy, though. He seemed like he was a lot more on topic than Aiden had been. And then Amanda and Betty were in a different section of the hallway from us because she wasn't part of the peer reading, so she didn't want the two students who were talking to each other to distract her student. The lesson, I think that they learned a bunch from it, because it seems like Ethan definitely remembers the 5-finger strategy, and Aiden remembers it. He didn't seem like he wanted to use it. So when I asked him about it, he said, yeah, I could definitely apply it to other things, I could use it in my other readings, but I don't know if I would. And I asked him why, and he was like, I don't think it's I don't know if it's better than some of the strategies that I use, I don't know if I'll remember to do it. So he just didn't seem very excited about using it, so I'm not sure it'll be one of those things that really stays with him throughout his educational career, which I think is unfortunate, because it's a really good strategy and it could really benefit him. At the end of the lesson, Tracy and I made sure to assess our student. I was just going to do an oral assessment, and then I wrote down the oral assessment simply because Aiden doesn't really have the capacity to write. As he was writing down all of his facts, it was obvious that he couldn't read his own handwriting, much less me read his own handwriting. He spelled because as P-E-A-C-H-E. I'm not sure what the thought process was there, but he obviously does struggle with the writing aspect, so I wanted to make sure that his ability to write wasn't affecting his reading comprehension. So that's why I chose to do an oral assessment, in which I simply asked him, so what strategy did we learn? Can you just tell me about it? So he explained that it was the 5-finger strategy, that at the end of each page you stop yourself from reading on to the next one, and try to think about 5 things you learned from that page. He said that you could use it for any book, but once again it didn't seem like he wanted to. That's pretty much all that happened throughout the lesson. It wasn't very long. It was a half-hour lesson, whereas our first lesson was 40 minutes. Maybe our second lesson was 25 minutes, not half an hour. Either way, I'm not sure that I really helped the student more than he would have learned in the general education setting, and that's a little bit upsetting to me. I wish that I'd been able to teach him a little bit more, but it's very difficult to try to reach a student when you only see them 20 minutes once a week for 7 weeks, and since we missed the first 2 weeks due to snow days, it was only 5 weeks, and because our last day is an educational, it's merely to say goodbye, that we're down to 4 weeks, so in total we only had about an hour and 20 minutes to teach our student, and in that amount of time it's hard to really enforce a skill and reinforce that skill, or strategy. I'm very excited to go next week though, because I think it'll be a lot of fun to say goodbye to all of them. It'll definitely be sad. I'll certainly miss Aiden, and there were a few girls in the classroom who are always so excited whenever we walk in, so I'll be missing them. But I'm hoping to be able to continue going maybe over spring break or something, just to continue that relationship a little bit longer. All right, so that's going to be all for today. Thanks for giving us this opportunity. It was truly educational, and even if I didn't reach the student to the extent that I wanted to, having this interaction with the student I think is very important, and being able to utilize what we're learning in the classroom is very important. So I think this was a great opportunity. Thank you.